How to use Pogo cable with Launch X431 IMMO Plus and Elite. Full guide. Hey everyone! Welcome back to Baabji Motors, your go-to hub for everything related to automobile diagnostics and programming. Before we begin today's video, let me quickly drop in a very important note. This video is made purely for educational and informational purposes only. Everything we discuss, demonstrate, and explain here is meant to help technicians, learners, and enthusiasts better understand the world of car diagnostics and key programming. We strictly follow fair use guidelines. Any images, references, or tool demonstrations are solely for review and learning. All rights and trademarks belong to their respective manufacturers. And of course, I urge you to always follow your local laws, regulations, and the official guidelines provided by tool and vehicle makers whenever you're working on a car. Now here's a question to kick things off, and I want you to think about it. Can the Launch X431 IMMO Plus or the IMMO Elite program a VW instrument IMMO key using just the Pogo pin method, without actually removing or reading from the chip? Imagine you have a 2013 VW Jetta flip key. Would the Pogo method save you time compared to pulling the chip out? Comment your guesses down below, and I'll reveal the answer later in this video. And before we move forward, I need your support. Let's set ourselves a challenge. Can we hit 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments within the first 24 hours? Your support doesn't just help the channel grow, it helps keep Baabji Motors alive and thriving. If you find this video useful, smash that like button, drop your comment, and if you really value the work we're doing here, consider using the Super Thanks option to directly support the channel. It means the world to me and keeps us bringing you more helpful automotive content. Now, let's get started with the main topic. So when you unbox the Launch X431 IMMO Plus or the IMMO Elite, you'll notice that it comes with a Pogo pin cable. This Pogo cable is not just a random accessory. It is designed to make certain jobs much easier. The cable connects directly to the X431 programmer, specifically into the yellow port, also known as the DB26 connector. This is the first step in understanding how this Pogo setup works. Now let's imagine a real-world scenario. You're working on a Volkswagen instrument cluster, maybe on a model like the 2013 VW Jetta with a flip key. Normally, extracting immobilizer data might mean removing the chip and reading it directly. That process can be time-consuming and risky. But with the Pogo pin cable, there's a faster way. Here's how it works. When you attach the Pogo cable to the correct boot point on the cluster and then connect it to the X431 through the yellow port, the instrument cluster can be powered into service mode. Once in service mode, you can retrieve the immobilizer data directly without desoldering or chip removal. This is where the Pogo method shines. It saves you precious time and reduces the risk of damaging delicate components. But there's a detail to watch carefully. According to user feedback, when you're doing this procedure, you must first locate the correct Pogo contact point on the instrument. This requires a steady hand and a bit of patience. Once you've identified the right point, you place and hold the Pogo probe firmly on that boot point. Then, as you power on the cluster, the connection between the Pogo and the X431 wakes the cluster into service mode. With the cluster in service mode, you can easily read and retrieve the IMMO data. The process after that is straightforward. Once you've secured the immobilizer data, reinstall the cluster back into the car. Then, turn on the ignition and continue with the dealer key adaptation and key learning process. And just like that, you've successfully completed the task using only the Pogo pin cable, without ever touching the chip directly. However, let me emphasize a big caution here. The Pogo pin method may seem convenient, but if you misplace the pin on the wrong contact point, you risk corrupting the instrument cluster's clock data. This can create bigger headaches than what you were trying to solve. So, proceed carefully, and if you're unsure, take your time, consult wiring diagrams, or get advice from experienced technicians before attempting it. Remember, the right knowledge and a steady approach make all the difference in diagnostics work. To sum this up in simple words, yes, the Launch X431 IMMO Plus and IMMO Elite, when paired with the included Pogo pin cable connected to the X431 yellow DB26 port, can handle VW instrument IMMO data retrieval without needing to remove the chip. The method requires holding the Pogo probe to the correct boot point, powering on the cluster, entering service mode, retrieving the IMMO data, reinstalling the cluster, and then carrying out the dealer key and key learning process. Done correctly, it's an efficient and reliable procedure. Now, let's circle back to the question I asked at the beginning. Can the Launch X431 IMMO Plus or Elite do a VW instrument IMMO key with just the Pogo pin without chip removal, like on a 2013 VW Jetta? The answer is yes, it absolutely can, provided you connect the Pogo cable properly to the X431 and carefully place it on the correct contact point. This method saves time and avoids unnecessary chip handling. Personally, I think this feature makes the Launch X431 IMMO Plus and Elite much more practical and user-friendly, especially compared to older methods that required more intrusive chip-level work. But I'd love to hear from you. What's your take on this? Have you tried the Pogo method yourself? Do you find it reliable, or do you prefer the traditional chip reading method for peace of mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your experiences can really help others in this community who may be attempting it for the first time. Before we wrap up, here's a quick tip from Baabji Motors. Whenever you're working with clusters and immobilizer data, always make a backup before proceeding with any operation. Even if the process looks safe and straightforward, having a backup can save you if something unexpected happens during programming. It's a small step that can prevent big problems later on. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the end. If you enjoyed this guide and found it useful, don't forget to show some love by hitting that like button, dropping a comment, and sharing this video with others who might benefit from it. Let's see if we can reach our goal of 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments within 24 hours. Also, if you'd like to support the channel even more, please consider hitting that super thanks button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Baabji Motors yet, now's the perfect time. It's free, but it makes a huge difference for us. Thanks again for watching, happy diagnosing, and I'll catch you in the next one.